You might have to catch a plane for this. You gon' have to say my name for this.
What is the deal, beautiful people? My name is Ramon. This is Lifestyles Defined. Welcome. On this channel, we talk about photography all day, every day. And today's topic is one that has been requested from multiple people through various different social platforms. So if you guys are not familiar, if you're new here, usually every 6 months or so, I'll do a street photography video and I will share my tips with you guys. And the reason every 6 months or so, street photography is my darling. It is my favorite genre of photography. And living in New York City, there's a lot of, to really make me look like a superstar because there's a lot going on. But I continue to learn, not only in my composition, in my approach to street photography, just in my craft. You continue to learn. As I continue to learn, I like to give to you guys what I learned. And a lot of you have become accustomed to that. And they say, hey, it's been more than 6 months. Where's the tips? Where's the video? So here it is, a few of the things I've picked up that I hope can help you in your street photography. Picking the right auto mode for your vision. Now, I have in my bullet points here, in my notes, I have to tackle the exposure triangle. I really want to do a few videos to explain shutter speed, aperture, and ISO and how they play together. But I've done a video or two talking about how people should not let these photography snobs sway you away from these auto modes. Now, for me, these auto modes allow me to be present in the moment because I don't care it's a sunny day out, it's a rainy day out, it's snowy. I don't care what it is. My ISO is always on auto, and it's set anywhere from 100 to 6400 or even 128, depending on the camera that I use, because I use a lot of different cameras, and I want the camera to decide that for me. Now, I don't use program mode or full manual because I never think it's super serious for me to control both my aperture and my shutter at once. Only when I'm in a controlled lighting situation, like taking portraits in the studio with on-camera, off-camera flash, because those things do very real things. Is it shutter speed controls? I forgot what it is. It clicks when I'm doing it, but the shutter speed and the aperture both control the amount of light and the intensity of light in controlled environments. So there's a reason for you to use both. But in street photography, when I'm going out, I'm picking a reason, I'm picking a vision. So let's picture a crosswalk. I'm in Rockefeller Center, and there's a crosswalk. There's about 50 people on each side. It's a middle of rush hour, and I want to show movement. I want to get that nice blend of the people sort of crashing together to create this sea of human beings in this jungle, just jungle-esque, this concrete jungle. Well, for me, that's shutter priority. And I'm gonna drag my shutter out to something like a second, which is why having a camera with in-body image stabilization, or at the very least optical image stabilization on the lens, is very important to me, because I can hand hold that type of image. And so yeah, there's a vision. Now, what about you're coming up to sort of a landmark on the side of the Empire State Building, and you notice there's a lot of beautiful flowers, and you just get down low and you shoot the flower, and you got the Empire State in the background. Well, for me, that's aperture priority. So now I'm gonna open it up to the widest, something like a 2.8, or if I got a prime, I'll go all the way down to like a 1.4 or whatever it is, 1.2. And I want that super creamy depth of field. I want the background to really just be just a bowl of cream, but you can still kind of make out it's a building there. So again, these are things where I think it's important to, and this was a mistake I was making, when I first got into street photography. I just grabbed my camera and ran outside, and that's cool. That's cool to really get you familiar with your tools, get you familiar with the genre, and to get you comfortable out and about. But for me, I give myself goals and visions when I'm at work, because I do a lot of my shooting after work. So, probably about 5 or 6 o'clock, I'll start thinking, okay, what am I doing today? What do I feel like doing? Where do I want to execute? And then I'll pick my mode. Today's going to be aperture priority, or today's going to be shutter priority. And then that allows me to just, like I said, focus and get the shot that I want. I don't have to fucks around with the camera. Embrace the weather. This is something I learned the hard way, because I would see it in so many dope photographers' images. And for a while, it took me like a year and a half to sit back and critiquing my images. Why do I feel like there's no punch to my images? I was using the best camera, the best lens, composition's on point. I feel like I got a good scene going. I got some good subjects, but it's just like, there's no mood in my images. No matter how I color grade them. Weather. I figured out it was the weather. When it rains, grab your camera and get your ass out there and shoot some puddles, shoot the street, shoot the handrails, shoot the cars. There's rainwater everywhere. When there's rainwater everywhere, that means there's light being reflected everywhere. And this is where your composition is truly rewarded. When it's snowing, get your ass out there and get some pictures. Might be a little tough in the snow, but get out there and get the pictures. When it's fog, you know what you got to do. Shooting buildings and streets in fog gives it this super airy, super moody. Just get out there and do it, and you'll find that you can shoot the same street hundreds of times, but when the weather changes, it just adds this something different to it. It brings it alive in a different way. Look out for the weather. Think about golden hour. My God, golden hour for me came alive when I got my Fuji, and you guys, hopefully by now, I don't know if I'll probably release the Fuji review before this video. So if you're watching this, check out the Fuji review. Let me know what you think on that camera. The colors that Fuji cameras render are insane. And shooting a Fuji camera in golden hour, which means sunset, I guess sometimes sunrise, depending, it is just an amazing thing. And you'd be shocked at how the most mundane of subject, a fire hydrant, just comes alive at golden hour. Trust me, it sounds weird, but try your street photography at golden hour. You will not be disappointed. Mixing up your lenses. For me, I'm very weird. So my Fuji, my X-T2, I will not be buying primes for that. For me, the 18 to 55 lens that's on there, which with the crop factor comes out to like a 28 to 70. Super comfortable with that. On my Sony, I've got primes. On my Olympus, I only have primes. But also on my Sony, I've got an older 28 to 70 2.8 A mount, and that lens is a beast. But throw yourself out of your element, right? It's easy to walk around with a zoom lens and be lazy and, hi, I've got a zoom lens and I'm equipped for all situations. Yeah, that's cool. But like, challenge yourself. There's times I'll leave the house with my Olympus and my 45 millimeter zoom, or prime, I'm sorry. So 45 times 2 means I'm at like a 90 millimeter range. Yes, I'm doing street photography with a long lens. Challenge yourself, push yourself. And the thing about what I like with when I do those longer lenses with my street photography, I isolate people a lot more. I isolate subjects a lot more. And sometimes, let's be for real, I'm a big black man in America. It's not in my best interest to be a Bruce Gilden. I can't just walk up in people's face and say, hey, you, and snap the camera. No, sir, I don't want those problems. So for me, using a longer lens in my street photography gives me comfort and not disturbing people, but really still being able to isolate the subject and show what I want to show, but from a distance. And I know a lot of people, oh, you can't use longer lenses. If you're not right in someone's face, you're not close enough. Like, no, thank you. No jail for me. So yes, switch up your lenses, try primes. Really try primes for street photography. And my thing with primes is I understand now why everyone says try them. It's not because they're sharper or they're cheaper. It's because that one focal length forces your creativity to flourish. Give it a try. Pay attention to the angles. In the last year or so, I would approach a scene and I'd really want to soak it all in and say, okay, how do I want to portray this scene? For instance, if I'm at Rockefeller Center, I shoot a lot of my images there at eye level because it's a tourist place, and I want you to feel like you are actually there. I want you to feel like it is eye level, right? And I'm 5'10", so you know what I'm 5'11", so you know what my eye level is. If I am somewhere where someone is doing street art and I want to capture the crowd and the art, I'll usually put the camera up above my eye level to shoot down, because I want you guys to sort of spectate. I want you to be an onlooker. I want you to look down and go, wow, this whole thing is amazing. I want you to appreciate that. And then if you look at a lot of my Soho work, I shoot very low angles, because in Soho, the people that are there, the fashionistas, are oftentimes the allure. You go to Soho to see fashion in its right. And I want these people to be larger than life. I want them to be statured. So I get down low and shoot them up. And it really, really gives a super dope appeal. So really approach your scene and think about how you want the viewer to ingest that story. Do you want them at eye level, which means, okay, I was there. Do you want them at the up top? You know, you're a bystander, you're looking down and you're observing, or you want them to just be like, wow, this subject is a big deal. It's there's a lot of stature going on there. Hopefully you guys like these tips. Of course, you know you can leave any questions you have in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video and please subscribe. We have plenty more coming. My name is Ramon and I'm out of here. Peace. But wait, before we get out of here and that outro rolls, I want to introduce to you the Lifestyles Defined merch store. And you can access that on the website off to the right. There's a link that'll take you right into there. So how this came about is we get a lot of messages from you guys. You want to support, you want to know how to support. And it never really felt right to just straight up take your money, as crazy as that sounds. So what we did here was we went and got a bunch of designs and we put them on shirts, hoodies, and everything else. And now we feel better because when you support us, you get something tangible. You get a piece of the community. And I think this is the way it should be. So I'm very excited about that. And I would love for you guys to head over to the website, check it out, leave a comment below. Let us know how you dig into designs. And of course, thank you. Well, I guess. And the reason we started Lifestyles Defined is because if we weren't on camera arguing about these things, the technologies, the phones, the iPhones, the Androids, the cameras, the games, we'd be on the phone arguing about it. We'd be in each other's houses arguing about it. So why not just put it in front of a camera for everyone to enjoy it the way we do? That's what Lifestyles Defined is all about. We just love